So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my center front. I'll draw my shoulder line here. On my shoulder line, I'll measure down 8 inches. Basically, that measurement is my shoulder line to my bust line. And then from my bust to my waist is 8 inches. This is my waistline. The next one is your waistline to your hip. So on your waistline, you're going to put a measuring tape and then take it all the way down to your hip. Alright, hip line. So on my bust line, I'm going to go out by 4 inches. The 4 inches is basically your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'll put that on the waistline as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on my hip line as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the waistline, I'll go up by half an inch on each side. And then from my hip line, I'm going to go up by 1 inch and mark, and then connect that to this dart up here, and then to my bust point. On the hip line, I'm going to measure the circumference of my hip, which is basically you put a tape around your hip. Whatever you get, you divide that in 4. Mine is 10 3/4. And then on the waistline, you put a tape measure on your waist and measure around your waist. Whatever you get, divide that in 4 plus 1. The 1 is because of the dart intake you're going to take out in the future. So whatever you get when you put your tape around your waist, divided by 4 plus 1. Mine is 8.5 inches. And then your bust measurement is basically going to be your bust circumference divided by 4 for ease allowance. Maybe I'll trim it eventually. On the neckline, go down by 2 inches and out by 3 inches. I'm not going to be using this neckline, so I can just do whatever I want on this area because I'm not going to be using it. I want it to be like a V neckline, so I don't have to use this. From my center front neck, I'll measure out 8 inches. And I'm going to take this 8 inches and put it down on my bust line. On this line, I'll go down by 1 inch and then connect that to this point on my neck. Measure what is left and go in by half an inch. So after measuring what is left, it's 7 left. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. And then go in by half an inch at that mark. The next thing I'm going to do is join this to this to this. Measure your shoulder line, divide it in 2, and then draw that line to the bust point. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Next thing I'm going to do is draw my bust radius. The best way to take a bust radius measurement is to put your tape on your bust point, which is your nipple, and then measure all the way to underneath your bust. So mine is 3 inches. Yours could be more, it could be less. The next thing I'm going to do is go down by 3/8 of an inch and then go up by 3/8 of an inch and then connect both lines to the bust point. On the side line, I'll go down by 2 inches. The shoulder line, I'm going to draw my new neckline to the upper dart. On the new neckline, find the midpoint and then connect it to the bust point. And then I'm going to draw that to my bust point. Next thing I'm going to do is take out 3/8 of an inch towards the center front. Because I want the width of my shoulder line to be 2 inches, what I'm going to do is measure 2 inches from my new neckline and shoulder line all the way to my armhole, and then I'll get rid of what is left. So 2 inches from this point, mark. On my armhole and side seam, I'm going to go down by 1 inch, mark. Then I'm going to draw my new armhole. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take my armhole measurement, figure out what it is, and then find the midpoint for whatever I get. So what I got is 9 inches. So 9 inches divided by 2 will be 4.5. So I will take a measurement of 4.5. And then I'll connect that to my bust point. On my armhole line, towards the side seam, I'm going to take out 1/2 inch. I'm going to connect that to my bust point. So because I took out 1 inch on my armhole, I'm going to extend this by 1 inch. The next thing I'm going to do is connect this point all the way to this point. Then on my shoulder line, I'll go down by 1/4 inch and then connect it to this new armhole line. From this new armhole line, I'll go in by 1/2 inch and connect it to my waistline. I'll measure what I get here and I'll transfer it to this point. And then from the center back on the bust point, the waistline and the hip line, going by 4 inches and draw a straight line to connect all of them. And then on both sides, take out 1/2 inch and then go down by 5 inches. Okay. From the center back, measure 8 inches and then do the same thing on the shoulder line, 8 inches, and then connect that. I'll go down by 1/2 inch instead of 1 inch. Measure what is left, which is 7.5 inches. I'll also go in by 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing I did on my armhole. I'll go down by 1 inch, 3 inches, and down by 2 inches. Measure what I have here, which is 3/4 inch. And I'm going to take that to my new shoulder line and mark 3/4 inch. Then I'm going to measure my shoulder line, which is 2 inches. And I'm going to transfer that to this point, 2 inches. And then I'll try to draw a curve connecting it to this. On my new armhole line, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch and then I'm going to draw that to my waistline. On my new shoulder line, the one connected to my neckline, I will go down by 1/4 inch and then connect that to my neckline on my armhole. So I opened this, which is the armhole, the neckline, the center front, and then the underbust or the bust. So the next thing I'm going to do is close the armhole, close the neckline, and close the center front. This is what it looks like. I'm going to have to draw a new neckline and new armhole, and this is what it's going to look like. I cut out 4 pieces of the top, and then I stitched it at the neckline. One is going to be the shell fabric and one is going to be the lining. After stitching it, I top stitched it and I pressed it. I also stitched my darts. I also went to stitch the darts on the back of my fabric. And then I closed my zipper with a basting stitch. And sandwich my zipper. I'm going to stitch my neckline all the way down to my zipper. Then I'm going to go press it. The next thing I'm going to do is lay both my front and back piece on the table and then just make sure that the right sides are touching. So now that I know that the right sides are touching and this is the back, this is the lining of my fabric, I'm going to take this bottom off like this. Get my pin ready. Open the back of the shoulder line and open the shoulder line at the front so that the right sides are touching. The next thing I'm going to do is stitch my armhole. I'm going to flip this And I'm going to stitch the armhole like this. I'm going to do the same thing on this armhole as well. I'm going to trim it, press it, and then I'll be right back. After pressing it, this is what my armhole looks like. And right here as well. The next thing I'm going to do is a basting stitch under my bust. I'm going to do 2 rows of basting stitch on each side, and I'm going to gather it. Once I'm done gathering it, I'm going to attach the lower portion of the front onto the upper portion of it. Now that I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do now is place this right on top. And I'm going to stitch this right underneath.